What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Justin here. As always, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. This is actually my second video for today. I just posted my review for the new Sylvester Stallone movie, Samaritan. It's streaming on Amazon Prime. It's kind of a throwback to 90s action-style movies like Last Action Hero and Demolition Man, things like that. If you're a Sly fan, check out that review. You might find a new Sly movie you dig. I'm finally starting to get back in the swing of things, and I'm going to be posting a lot more on this channel. I have been very active, but it's been on my other channel, The Dead Couch. That's my collecting and physical media channel. I've been talking about going to Spirit Halloween and showing off my animatronics and collectibles and physical media and all that stuff. If you're into that stuff, definitely subscribe to The Dead Couch. I'll link that channel down below. But as we're here now, we're here to talk about everything that I watched in August. So let's get into everything that I watched in August. I watched a few more things than I did in July, but still not as many as I'd like. My schedule has been crazy and it's absolutely killing me that I haven't been able to watch as many titles as I want. I wish I could watch a movie every day, but that's just not the way life works. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies for the month. Unbelievable. There's a couple newer movies that I have wanted to see. I still want to see 3,000 Years of Longing. I still haven't seen Maverick. My Scream 5 review is still going to be coming up soon. I want to get that out. But as of right now, we're going to talk about some movies that I watched in August. A good little mix here. Mostly horror. I guess it's pretty much all horror with the exception of one movie. Starting it off at the top of the month, I watched The Beach Bum, which was directed by Korine. It stars so many people. Matthew McConaughey. I'm gonna forget a million people that are in it, but Snoop Dogg is in this movie. This is really just a slice of life movie. It's fairly plotless. It does involve loosely a plot between Matthew McConaughey and his sort of estranged wife. Matthew McConaughey plays this guy named Moondog. It's a very McConaughey style role, but he plays this, like the title would suggest, this beach bum who just drinks beers and smokes weed. And
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And walks around his little beach town philosophizing, falafel eating. And it's a very weird movie. If you're familiar with Harmony Korine's movies, which I wouldn't fault you if you're not, he's a super independent filmmaker that recently started getting into some more like higher budget like stuff with like James Franco. He also did Spring Breakers. Back in the day, a lot of people are familiar with his film Gummo. Harmony Korine's just a weird guy, a very unique and creative guy. I kind of compare him to kind of Crispin Glover as far as being a really interesting, just an interesting character. In fact, if you go to YouTube and search David Letterman, Crispin Glover, and or Harmony Korine appearances, you can really see that these guys are not your traditional actors and directors. They do some really unique stuff. Watch a little movie called Trash Humpers if you're interested in watching probably the most abstract thing that Harmony Korine has ever done. But I digest. The Beach Bum, Matthew McConaughey, check it out. Next up this month was Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I did do a full review for that. You can check that out. I actually really enjoyed this movie. It's not going to be for everyone. The characters are a little annoying. It's very, it's trying to be very, very of its time, so it lacks substance in some areas. It's not quite the slasher that the trailer suggests, but it is fun. I did a full in-depth review. If you want to check that out, that's Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And next up, I did I think this was a double feature. I can't remember. We met a double feature with my buddy. We watched Wrong Turn and Wrong Turn 2. I have never seen the Wrong Turn movies, and after watching them, I don't think I was missing out on these at all. I gave Wrong Turn 1.5, Wrong Turn 2, 1 star. These movies are pretty fucking terrible. I was really curious to check these out after the like remake reboot came out earlier this year or last year. It might have been last year. As always, when movies get rebooted or remade, people say, "Oh, I would have liked it if it wasn't called Wrong Turn," or "You can't remake that movie," blah 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 blah. And people were saying that about the Wrong Turn movie. And after seeing these movies, if you're holding Wrong Turn even the first couple movies in the series, it's such a high regard that a remake or a reboot is sacrilege in your opinion. I don't know what to tell you. The movies are pretty awful, and I like bad movies. I like movies that are so bad they're good, but these were just fucking terrible. I mean, that in Wrong Turn, they have that whole sequences where they're supposedly like walking around in treetops and shit. In Wrong Turn 2, I know Joe Lynch said that he was fighting a lot of things during the making of this movie, and I've heard him make a lot of excuses for it, and maybe it was a difficult film to produce, but as far as the end product, it was fucking terrible. These movies are awful. I'm gonna watch the rest of them just because I have to. I have to know how much worse can they possibly get, right? If I couldn't even recommend watching these, really. Like, I know they're kind of popular with people. They're kind of a famous movie, a famous franchise, but man, I'd skip it. Watch something else. And next up is Glorious. This is a movie I was interested in for a couple different reasons. First of all, I love Ryan Quanten. He's the main star of this movie. He was great in True Blood. I love that show back in the day. That was such a fun show. And he played Jason Stackhouse, Sookie's brother. He's a really, really good actor, really energetic actor with a lot of personality. And this movie is kind of a single location, single character movie, so he's kind of a good choice for that. Somebody that can give a really energetic performance. And aside from Ryan Quanten, I cannot say his name. It was directed by Rebecca McKendry, who hosts a podcast I listen to damn near every week, and that's the Colors of the Dark podcast, as well as the Shockwaves podcast. They were all Fangoria produced podcasts, and Colors of the Dark is a fantastic podcast. I'll throw a high recommendation out for that. A lot of recommendations of old school 80s stuff. And newer movies as well, but it's a great pod. But this movie was okay. What did I end up giving this one? I gave this one 2.5. For me, it was just right down the middle. It's kind of like a cosmic horror movie in the way of like H.P. Lovecraft or something like that. A lot of neon lighting, a lot of kind of phantasmagorical type stuff going on. But a guy who gets trapped in a bathroom and starts interacting with this intergalactic, it's like kind of space being, demon, tentacle type thing. It's voiced by J.K. Simmons, surprisingly, of Yellow M&M fame. It was an interesting movie, but it absolutely felt like something that was just overstretched into a full-length movie. It would have much more been better suited for like an anthology movie where it's just like a quick segment, like a 20-minute like short, but it stretched out to feature length. It just didn't quite work for me. I would say it's worth a watch if you are somebody who's watched everything and you just need something to watch like on a lazy Sunday or a rainy day or something like that, imbibe in some substances or something like that, and you'll have an okay time. There's some decent gore and the performances are good. It's just stretched a little thin, just gets a little monotonous and boring at times. But if you're into like an intergalactic H.P. Lovecraft beast behind a glory hole in a bathroom, a truck stop bathroom, this might be the one for you. Next up is Terrifier. I had a buddy over for a pizza and movie night. We knew what we wanted to do a double feature, the movie that I'll talk about next, and we needed another one, and we decided on Terrifier because the sequel's coming out, and this is a movie that I've tried to watch so many times. I've sat down so many times trying to watch Terrifier. This is such a beloved movie, a beloved character. People go crazy over Terrifier. I've just not even been able to finish it every time I've started it. And this time, although I did finish it, I still do not think it's great. It's got fantastic gore. Art the Clown is a unique looking character. I find him to be a little boring. His shtick gets really old when they just show him in a fixed position, moving his eyes around. It's just boring. He looks awesome. It's almost like they have this great character. They have a sadistic character that does extremely brutal, graphic, mean, super mean-spirited murders, and that's awesome, but I wish he was just a little bit more charismatic. To me, his shtick just gets very old very quick, and not to mention the performances in this movie are very not good. The production value is really, really low. So some of these things can be kind of charming, like if you watch a trauma movie, they're very charming and over the top and cartoony, so the low budget stuff doesn't bother me as much. But with Terrifier, it takes itself so seriously that all of its shortcomings start to just feel a little bit more prominent, and it just doesn't work for me. Maybe eventually I'll do like a full-on review. Maybe with the sequel, we'll get a little bit more production value, we'll get a little bit more of a revamped character movement. I still think, and I know he's kind of like a mime character, I still feel like Terrifier Art the Clown would be better if he did speak a little bit, because his shtick just gets very old with him just in some kind of fixed position and just like not moving. It's like, I'm not the biggest fan of Terrifier like everybody is. I don't know what to say. It's not that great of a movie. And next up, the final movie of the month was Nope. That was the other movie in my double feature the other night. And I love Nope. I gave it 4 stars. This was, again, a rewatch. I've done a full-fledged review already on this one. This is a fantastic movie. Upon the second watch, I don't know if I liked it as much as I did the first. I still think Us and Get Out edge this as my favorite Jordan Peele movies. Nope is a very ambitious film. It's very ambiguous, and it's not quite as clever as the other 2 movies, which leads to some slow points and parts that aren't as interesting, but overall the concept is really great, and then the cinematography is fantastic. Keke Palmer's performance is great. And again, I did a full review on that if you want my full thoughts, but so I guess that's it. That wraps up my August What I Watched Letterboxd recap for the month. Let me know, did you guys watch anything that you were excited about this month? What are you excited about this month? I know in September and October we have tons of shit coming out, and I'll be talking about a lot of movies. I'm going to be active on both my channels. You can check me out here on the Movie Watch Daily, and then you can check me out on the Dead Couch, where I do all my collecting and vlogs and Spirit Halloween stuff and animatronics and physical media and all that type of stuff. That's all on the Dead Couch. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you guys so much. Stay weird. Remember to always be yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dreadful, and this is the Dr. Dreadful Food Lab. Makes lots of gross things, and then you eat them. Dr. Dreadful's monster skin. Care for a tasty tarantula? Fly? Cockroach? You can make swarms! And now magic powder, stir, and... monster brains! Fruity! The Dr. Dreadful Food Lab makes gross things again and again. It's totally dreadful!